go.
Okay, hey guys, it's Megan with Camp Sunshine, and today I am making elderberry syrup. Elderberries are very high in vitamin C and fiber and potassium, and they are known to be very helpful as a preventative method for cold and the flu. But they can also, if you have a cold or a flu, like if you haven't taken it and you find yourself sick, it can actually speed up your healing process. I take it anytime I feel any niggle of congestion or anything. And so thus far, knock on wood, this season I have not had any colds or flus or anything. And I've heard it's a pretty bad year for it. So I've run out. Well, that's not totally true. I still have some. I bought a bottle when we were on the road because I ran out of the other stuff that I had. But now I want to make my own because I think it's better. So I am using dried elderberries. You can also use fresh elderberries, and we actually have a bunch of elderberry bushes on our property and missed harvesting them last year because they were ready a lot sooner in the season than they have been historically. So we kind of missed it, and that I think was just kind of the weather. So I ended up buying this off of Amazon. Yay, Amazon. And you can Google, there are a variety of different recipes that have varying different percentages of the things I'm going to tell, but these are the key ingredients. So I am going to start out with 3 cups of water. And if you are using fresh elderberries, I think you can use up to 2 cups. When it's dried, I use 1 cup, and I'm just pouring them in here. You are going to use cinnamon, and I like using cinnamon sticks. 2 cinnamon sticks. Cloves, you can either use ground up clove, and you can use 1 teaspoon of that, or you can use whole cloves, which is what I have here. Every recipe I have read varies. I happen to like clove, and so if you're using ground, you should use 1 teaspoon. I'm using about 8 whole cloves, and so those will go in there. And then ginger, you can use fresh ginger, fresh grated ginger, or you can use this powder form. If you're using the fresh ginger, you can use a whole tablespoon. And if you're using the ground up dried, you use 1 teaspoon. And this is a 1/2 teaspoon, so I'll do 2 of those. So you're gonna mix those together. And then you're gonna put this on the stove. And you're gonna bring it to a boil. And then you're gonna reduce it down to a simmer. And you're going to let it sit on the stovetop you're gonna wanna reduce it to about half of what it is now, probably about 45 minutes. Once you're done with that, you're going to take a potato masher, because these elderberries will be a little bit softer, and you're going to mash them down to try to break out any of the juices and whatnot. This is actually way more important when you're using the fresh elderberries. And with the dried ones, they're kind of hard and brittle, but I still go through that process just to try to, eke out any of the special stuff that's in them. And so you bring it to a simmer, you reduce it down to about half of what it's, come close and show, half of what it is right now. You're going to use the masher, and then you're going to use a cheesecloth and a strainer like this, and you will pour it into, it's kind of important to pour it into a glass bowl, because the last step, you're going to let that cool off, and once it cools off, you're going to add 1 cup of raw honey. And important to have it cooled off, because heat ruins many of the benefits of the raw honey. And if you use metal, it will also affect the benefits of the honey. So you want to use a glass container when you're doing this. And when you're stirring it, use a wood spoon so that you keep all of the special magic that's in the raw honey alive and well, and you don't destroy it. And I think that's it. So you're going to bring it to a boil, simmer it down, and reduce it to about half of what it is. You are going to use your potato masher, you're going to strain it, you're going to set aside till it's cool, and then you're going to mix in your honey. At that point, you are going to put it into a canning jar, and it will keep for 6 to 8 months in the fridge. And use it anytime you feel like you're getting sick or anytime you're sick. And
or you feel a niggle.
yes, a niggle of sickness. Niggle of sickness is terrible. Nobody wants to feel that.
It's a technical term, right?
It is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, it's very, very simple. As I said, I do prefer to use the fresh ones, especially since we have them growing on our property. And so in the future, that will definitely be what I do. But in the meantime, because we are far from over or through cold and flu season, I want to be equipped. And Mr. Tabor even partakes sometimes. So that is it. Voila! How to make elderberry syrup.